Chosen one, listen closely. If everything in your life feels empty right now, if the things that used to excite you no longer spark any emotion, if achievements, praise, or goals feel hollow, I want you to hear this. This is not a sign that you are failing. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. What you're experiencing is deeper than boredom, deeper than fatigue, deeper than confusion. It's the subtle awakening of clarity. It's a quiet, internal shift that very few people notice, and even fewer understand. It's the universe, or God, or life itself, preparing you for a higher version of yourself. And it starts with everything losing its importance. You might wake up in the morning and realize that the things that once defined you no longer matter. That old ambition, the chase for approval, the constant pressure to perform, it all feels insignificant. And that's terrifying for a mind trained to measure value through achievement, through doing, through being seen. But the truth is, when nothing feels important anymore, it's because you are stepping into a phase where only what truly matters will remain. This is a stripping away. It's subtle. It's not dramatic. You won't see fireworks. You won't feel the applause. But inside, your priorities are quietly reorganizing themselves. Things that once seemed urgent no longer occupy your mind. Conversations that once drained you no longer demand your energy. Spaces you once filled with busy work no longer pull at your attention. And that can feel scary, because you ask yourself, if nothing matters, then what am I supposed to do? And the answer is simple. Even if it doesn't feel simple, you're being invited into depth. A depth where clarity begins to emerge not from noise, not from hustle, but from stillness, where the things that are meant to stay will naturally rise to the surface, and the things that no longer serve you will fall away. You see, life has a way of quieting the superficial so that the essential can finally be seen. When everything loses importance, your heart starts asking questions it never asked before. What truly matters? Who truly matters? Where am I supposed to focus my energy? What am I meant to create that lasts beyond my own ego? This phase feels empty because your old measures of success no longer apply. You've outgrown them, and growth always comes with a moment of disorientation. It's uncomfortable because your internal compass is recalibrating. Your intuition is learning to recognize what is real and what is noise. Your soul is learning that fulfillment does not come from accumulation. It comes from alignment. And alignment is subtle. It doesn't scream. It doesn't look like excitement. It doesn't feel urgent. That's why it feels like nothing is important. Because everything superficial, everything external, everything based on old expectations is no longer holding your attention. You might even start questioning the people around you. The relationships that once mattered now feel draining. The conversations that once energized you now feel shallow. The advice that once guided you now feels irrelevant. And that's not because people change, it's because you are changing. This phase is a filter. It's a divine or natural mechanism that separates what is essential from what is excess. It separates truth from illusion. And it often feels isolating because most people around you are still operating on the old rules, still chasing approval, still measuring worth by achievement, still reacting to every external stimulus. But you're evolving quietly. You're learning that presence matters more than productivity. That intention matters more than output. That silence can teach more than conversation. And yes, there will be moments of doubt. Moments where you question yourself, moments where you wonder if you've lost your drive, your purpose, your edge. Let me tell you something you haven't. You are not unmotivated. You are not lost. You are recalibrating. You are shedding everything that was keeping you small so that you can expand into the version of yourself that is capable of handling the next level of life, of work, of relationships, of purpose. This is the moment where self-reflection becomes a tool for realignment, where quiet contemplation is more powerful than action, where observing yourself without judgment is more important than fixing yourself. Because fixing is premature, fixing is for what is broken. But this phase is not broken, it is transformational. Think of it like the ocean during a low tide. The water pulls back. The familiar shoreline disappears. Everything feels empty. And yet, in that emptiness, new life begins to form. Hidden creatures, new patterns, new currents are revealed. That's what is happening to you internally. You feel disconnected because the old structures of your life, your routines, habits, attachments, and expectations are receding, and it's in this space of emptiness that your next phase is being built. Do not try to fill it too quickly. Do not panic. Do not force excitement or meaning where it does not exist. Sit with it, observe it, be present in the emptiness. Because this emptiness is selective. It's not a void. It is a filtration system. It will remove everything that is not aligned with who you are becoming. It will reveal the people, the projects, the ideas, and the values that are meant to stay. And yes, it will feel weird, because everything that you are accustomed to has lost its power over you. But that's the point. If nothing feels important anymore, it's a signal that your internal compass is awakening. Your energy is no longer being scattered. Your attention is no longer being wasted. Your mind is learning to see what is essential. You are in a silent revolution within yourself. This is the preparation before clarity, the quiet before action, the unseen work before the visible breakthrough. You may feel lost, but it is an illusion. You may feel confused, but it is precision at work. You may feel detached, but it is alignment forming. Do not fear this phase. Do not resist it. Do not try to name it, categorize it, or measure it. You are in a liminal space, a threshold, a doorway, and when you step through, you will notice something remarkable. The things that once felt urgent will no longer control you. The people and relationships that were draining will no longer occupy your attention. The superficial goals and meaningless distractions will fade away, and in their place, the essential will rise. The projects, the people, the values, and the work that truly matter will anchor themselves in your life. And you will understand that this emptiness was never emptiness at all. It was preparation. It was refinement. It was awakening, and then you will move forward, not from pressure, not from fear, not from expectation, but from clarity, from focus, from alignment. And nothing will feel wasted, nothing will feel accidental, nothing will feel irrelevant. Because everything in this phase, the emptiness, the discomfort, the weirdness, the lack of attachment, is building the foundation for a life that finally feels meaningful. So if you are sitting there today, feeling like nothing matters anymore, hear this clearly: you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Do not rush. Do not resist. Do not worry. This is not the end. This is not a failure. This is transformation in its purest, quietest form. And when it is time, your life will emerge from this phase with clarity, with focus, with purpose, and with a power that only comes from having been refined through emptiness. You are not lost. You are awakening, and that is more than enough. Now, let's dive deeper. You may be wondering if nothing feels important anymore. If even the things you once loved have lost their sparkle, then what exactly is happening inside you? The truth is, your perception is shifting before your life does. The emptiness you feel, the detachment, the boredom, the sense that nothing matters, it's a signal, not a warning. It's a profound internal calibration. This phase is teaching you something very few understand: that value is not in external validation, recognition, or accomplishments. Value is internal. It exists in the alignment of your choices with your soul, your intuition, your truth. And when nothing feels important, it's because you're learning to separate the noise from the signal, the temporary from the eternal. Think about it. How much of your life has been spent chasing what others told you mattered? How much of your energy has gone into proving, performing, impressing, or accumulating, instead of truly aligning with what feeds your spirit? And now all of that is falling away, not because life is punishing you, but because your consciousness is evolving. You're entering a phase where your awareness grows faster than your actions, where your mind starts questioning everything you once accepted without thought, where the old maps, the old guides, the old markers no longer make sense. And in that disorientation, you start noticing a strange thing: clarity is forming silently. Clarity is quiet. It doesn't arrive with a loud announcement or a dramatic breakthrough. It creeps in through your perceptions, through the small decisions you start making without forcing them. You realize you no longer respond to pressure the same way. You no longer overreact to situations that used to control you. You start prioritizing differently even without naming it consciously. And that is the essence of this phase. It's not chaos, it's not stagnation, it's reorientation. You're learning to measure life by your own inner compass, not by the standards, expectations, or definitions of the world. You're learning to see the invisible lines that guide you, the subtle energy of what's aligned and what isn't. You may feel alone, you may feel misunderstood, you may feel disconnected. And yes, that's uncomfortable, because human beings crave belonging, clarity, and certainty. But this discomfort is not a flaw, it's a signal. It's the universe quietly shaking loose everything that no longer resonates, so that the things that do resonate can rise naturally to the surface. And there's a deeper spiritual truth here often. The things that we cling to, the things that define our identity, the things that we think are critical to our survival, are precisely what block us from stepping into the next version of ourselves. This phase is removing them, not violently, not with fanfare, but subtly, softly, so that your awareness grows before your life changes. You're learning patience, but it's not the kind of patience you think you know. It's not waiting passively. It's active observation. It's noticing how your mind reacts, how your body responds, how your emotions shift. It's learning to stay grounded even when everything around you feels uncertain. And that grounding is what will make you unshakable when the clarity arrives. There will be days when the emptiness feels suffocating. Days when you question yourself and your purpose. Days when it seems like the world has moved on and left you behind. And in those moments, you might feel tempted to rush, to force meaning, to chase distractions, to numb the discomfort. But do not, because this is exactly where most people fail to evolve. They panic. They look for quick fixes. They cling to the old ways because it feels safer. But safety is no longer your teacher. Transformation is. And transformation requires presence, reflection, and courage. This is also the time when your discernment sharpens. You start noticing who really matters, who really adds value to your life, who is in your orbit for the right reasons and who is there out of habit or expectation. You start seeing patterns in your relationships, in your habits, in your routines, and in your environment. And some of these realizations may feel like loss, but they are actually liberation, because liberation is the hidden gift of this phase. The freedom to choose without fear, the freedom to detach without guilt, the freedom to align with truth instead of convenience. And yes, it feels weird at first, because freedom without familiarity is disorienting. But as you step into it, it becomes exhilarating. You're also learning that productivity is no longer measured by output but by alignment. That your energy matters more than your accomplishments. That your presence matters more than your performance. That how you show up in life is more important than what you do or what you achieve. And when you realize this, the small frustrations of daily life begin to dissolve. The noise of obligations you once thought essential fades away. The pressure to please, to impress, to validate yourself externally diminishes, because you've begun measuring everything by a new standard, the resonance of truth. In this phase, your inner life becomes the anchor, your intuition becomes the guide, your alignment becomes the measure of success. And for the first time, perhaps, you feel the power of living for yourself, not for society, not for expectations, not for old definitions of achievement. This is also the time when creativity and vision expand, but in a very quiet way. When nothing feels important externally, your internal world is active. Ideas, insights, solutions, and innovations begin to bubble up. But they're subtle at first, almost invisible, almost imperceptible. And that's intentional. The universe doesn't hand clarity on a platter. It allows it to emerge from your inner awareness, to be tested, refined, and understood before it manifests. And so you may notice yourself daydreaming differently, noticing things others overlook, thinking in new ways, or feeling inspired by things that never moved you before. That's the internal growth signaling that your perspective is evolving. You are also learning resilience in a new form. Not the resilience that comes from grinding through hardship or forcing yourself to succeed. This is resilience that comes from accepting uncertainty, embracing emptiness, and staying grounded in the unseen process. This is the resilience that will carry you through the next chapter, the chapter where clarity, direction, and alignment meet action. Let me remind you, this phase is temporary. It feels indefinite because time feels distorted when you are evolving internally. But like all seasons, it has a beginning and an end. And when it concludes, you will step into life with a precision and calm that you could not have accessed before. You'll look back at this phase and realize it was not wasted. It was formative. It was transformative. It was refining your perception, your judgment, and your values. It was preparing you for a life where nothing unaligned can touch you, and everything aligned elevates you. So if today you feel nothing matters, if everything seems muted, if life feels flat and uninspiring, hear this truth: this is exactly where you need to be. The emptiness is not a void, it is a preparation space. It is the soil where the seeds of your next reality are planted. Be patient, be present, observe, reflect, and allow yourself to shift quietly. The phase where nothing feels important is not a failure. It's the prelude to clarity, purpose, and a deeper understanding of what your life is truly meant to be. And when the clarity arrives, it will not be forced. It will not be sudden in a noisy, chaotic way. It will be natural, precise, and undeniable, and you will finally understand why nothing mattered before, because only then would you know what truly does. So embrace this phase, sit in the emptiness, let your internal world rearrange, let your priorities reset, let your perceptions evolve, and know that what feels like nothing is actually the most important preparation of your life. Because when the time comes, you will emerge from this phase with vision, focus, and purpose, and everything you do from that point forward will feel alive, aligned, and meaningful.